Case number 03 SEP2019, name Children of Morta. A story-driven action RPG about a family of heroes. Lead the Bergsons, custodians of Morta, with all their flaws and virtues against the forthcoming corruption. Will you be able to sacrifice everything to save the ones you care for? Such is the pledge of the developers. May the judgment be passed swiftly and justly. For the Emperor! Story begins like so many other roleplay games. The world is about to end and only the main characters can stop the corruption. We all know the drill. But that initial
"Oh shit, here we go again"
is quickly pushed back as you start delving deeper into it. Story is told in between dungeon runs in short segments during which the family members are also introduced. But if you have a gander around the house, you will see what the Bergsons think and learn more about them. Their characters, what they like, dislike, who they are, their secrets. Nothing stays hidden from the inquisitive eye. Not even the bedroom. Anyway, the story is nice, main focus is family, hope, unity, sacrifice that some are willing to make, and despite its darker turns, it's very heartwarming. You can learn more about the world from codex and scraps of journals, but do not expect Forgotten Realm kind of lore. This is, in the end, an indie, roguelike game, and as such it has nice, well thought out world, although not going too much into the details. Pixel art graphics is the main reason I was avoiding this game despite hearing good things about it, as I'm kinda getting tired of that style, he said while looking at all those pixel art games waiting for reviews. As for a pixel art game, the graphics are good. Seems like devs spent some time on making sure each character is detailed and even able to convey expression, which is really commendable. And then we have Mark and John. Two blobs that would easily pass for a gene stealer hybrid and would be shot by any Emperor-loving space marine on sight. But I have seen worse. Much worse, and the fact that Dead Mage Studio combined pixel art with lightning techniques and frame-by-frame animation, they do deserve an Aquila badge for graphics. Music is good, will definitely fit what is happening on screen, but most people would not even remember it. And I wish there were more scores played while running the dungeons, because hearing the same song over and over again is not what I like in a game. Except the shop melody, that one is mighty cool. Although each area has its own soundtrack, so there is at least a little bit of diversity, there is a reason why this game does not sell separate OST. Again, the music is good, but nothing exceptional to write to the officium about. Sounds are alright, fitting, although really scarce. Feels like I'm hearing the same 5 sounds over and over, even some enemies share the same sound effects, which is a shame, and I'm hoping future updates will fix this. What makes up for lack of sounds is the narration, done by voice and stage actor Ed Kelly. His calming voice makes you feel as if this was not a game, but rather a story being read from a book to you by your grandfather. The characters do not speak for themselves, but rather, as in the storybook, he reads to you their actions and feelings, which makes it more interesting and breathes some fresh air into these kind of games. Purity seal of approval to whoever thought of this. Altogether, the visuals, narration, the overall mood of the game, it is all quite atmospheric. The warmth of the Bergsons' house, the seeping corruption closing in, all is there ready for you to experience from the comfort of your couch. Overall, this game definitely gives you what it needs and deserves an Aquila for atmosphere as well. The game itself is okay, your standard run-of-the-mill roguelite dungeon runner. On the normal difficulty, game is playable even for inexperienced players or people new to the genre. Gameplay can get repetitive and feel grindy, but that is the point of roguelites. You try to get as far as possible, and in this case after that you carry over experience points and more, which is the currency of this world, that you can spend on various upgrades. To help with repetitiveness and grindiness, in between runs you will often see bits of the story to unfold, and each time you visit Bergson's house you will see them living their day-to-day lives and get to know them. While dungeons are procedurally generated, all 3 acts are basically the same dungeon, just reskinned and with altered traps. Randomly spawned puzzle rooms are interesting at first until you realize it's only a game of Pong, then another room with 33% chance of obtaining a loot and one with trial and error button pressing. Personally, I always skip the last one because the reward was never worth the hassle. Seriously, 4 buttons, so many combinations. No thank you. There is not that many enemies, and also half of those are the same ones just with different looks. I especially noticed bats and snakes being exactly the same, which is a shame. Especially given the fact that Bergsons have quite a range of different skills to use in battle, and I believe there was a potential for much more variety in creating interesting enemies. But credit where credit is due, at least they did not use the same enemies, just making them blue in Act 1 and red in Act 2 like so many other games. At the time of making this review, Dead Mage already released a paid DLC, Paws and Claws, of which all proceeds go to the animal charity. DLC is adding new pet sanctuary at the Bergsons house, and you can feed various animals to get in-game boosts. There are 2 more updates coming up. Seems like they will be adding Endless Run as an endgame mechanic to grind for more experience and more, and Road Plan is ending with another paid DLC promising adding new features. Although the story is concluded in such a way, I can't imagine them bringing anything spectacular. I'm hoping for more enemy variations, new puzzles and random encounters. I very much doubt they will be adding new characters or something to the story, but I will pin a comment once the DLC is released under this video. Maybe they surprise us and what am I listing here as negatives will be addressed? Who knows? But it better be. Otherwise I'll send Abaddon to bite their toes at sleep, drop their favorite cup on the floor and shit in their rice cooker. Yes, all that. You can play with mouse and keyboard or a controller. And while I do prefer precision aiming in these kind of games, I have played this one with the controller because it has decent auto aim, ammunition is not an issue and bosses are doable despite the controller handicap. You can customize your controls, which should be a standard, but ever since consoles became the primary focus of gaming developers, this is something to be cherished. What a sad galaxy we live in. One cool thing to mention is that skill trees were obviously designed with the limited amount of buttons that controller has, so you don't have to worry about having to switch mid-battle or pressing weird combination to unleash the desired ability. As in many other roguelites, you are unlocking playable characters by progressing the story. Each family member has a different skill tree, but they all mostly fit the usual range of characters: fighter, basic bitch bow user, fire mage, monk, berserker, rogue and so on. What I particularly like is as you level up each character, at levels 4 and 20 they automatically unlock bonuses that are shared with all the other family members, boosting their performance in the dungeons. Some may be put off by this because it means you should be trying out and playing more than 1 or 2 of your favorite characters and can feel pressured into doing it to unlock the bonuses. On the other hand, you can totally play the game without those bonuses, and switching between the characters actually helped me, as some of them have easier time than others facing certain bosses. My only gripe is that the devs are forcing you to play at least 3 characters by giving the heroes fatigue and temporarily lowering their max HP if you play them more than, I think, 3 times in a row. You can clear the fatigue with a special item, but since the same item also serves as a skill tree reset and getting it is based on certain random encounter, and during my playthrough I only managed to get 3 of them, it is not really a valid option. But then again, if you don't like repeating the same levels over and over and grinding for better stats, why the fuck are you playing a roguelite game? Yes, I'm asking you. Yes, you. Bonuses and upgrades from Book of Rea and Workshop are also unlocked gradually as you progress. Again, these stat bonuses automatically apply to whichever character you are currently playing, and they are your usual stat boosters like increased EXP and gold gain, bonus crit chance or HP boost, etc, etc. During the dungeon runs you may find a random encounter, usually you meet a family member that will accompany you for a while to go help some people in need, but majority of them boils down into enter the room and kill every enemy, and those are not memorable at all. Each act has one side quest whose finishing is also based on further random encounters, and you can spend several rounds not getting the necessary room spawned, which is very frustrating. There is also a New Game Plus option after you beat the game, for those of you wanting more challenge, if hard mode that you can switch on anytime you want during the playthrough was not tough enough. Dear Battle Brothers and Sisters, after 25 hours of gameplay, I proclaim this game worth of your time and hard-earned credits. It is one of those games where you can easily spend an hour or 5 playing, getting absorbed by the story progression and that feeling of just one more run so I can get the upgrade I'm saving for. I highly recommend Children of Morta to anyone who likes roguelite genre and doesn't mind pixel art graphics, and it even has Steam remote co-op play for your cheapskate friends. And if you feel like it, you can use the GREENMAN gaming link below to purchase this game, get it that cheaper during the sales, and send few Imperial credits my way. Would be much appreciated. You can also display your agreement or disagreement with my ruling by giving this video thumbs up or down and adding your own comment below. For more rulings and to pledge your service to the God Emperor himself, click the subscribe button and thus pledge your loyalty to the Imperium. I will see you at the next ruling, and as always, the Emperor protects!